Okay guys, in this video will probably be the final one. I'm going to go over the last of the pages. So right now I'm on the yearly summary page, and you'll see here that for the input that I already put in, it gave all the totals for mileage, income, medical miles, which we entered earlier. It would break down the allowances here as well. So it's mostly a collection of validation. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of the year, when you get a W-2, you would enter the W-2 information, and this is for all businesses. So for W-2 information on here, I might enter the say Central Casting was one of the W-2 earnings. Say it was $350, and say another one was Grant Wilfrey, even though these aren't payroll companies. But and there's down here it states that it's in balance, and that's what you're looking for. If you enter your W-2 forms and it's different and it shows out of balance, this is when you want to go back to each month and double check your earnings. And what you would have to do is basically look at the W-2 form from this company and go back to each month and add each one of these up. You'll do the same thing here for the 1099 active jobs. If you know that these are jobs where you just have the 1099 forms, you would enter them. So say hypothetically it was Brain Games, they paid the cash and the earnings was $250. You would add up all of your earnings, and the 1099 should balance out to any of the 1099 earnings that you had. Since I didn't have any, it's going to show that it's out of balance. And then over here, you're going to enter the reimbursements. Again, these are not what you would get as on your check, but at the end of the year on a W-2, there'll be a section that says L1, and the L1 will sit there and show the reimbursements that you've earned. So what you want to do is, if you get a W-2, say from a Central Casting, and it has an L1 listing, then what you want to do is you want to go back to your months and look for the ones that you had used a vehicle and that you saw an allowance on. None of these have an allowance, right? But you look through it, right, to find out which days you had a car and to find out which one had that extra payment for the allowance. And that way you'll be able to determine if it was an auto, a toll, or a wardrobe allowance. And then it'll show the balances here. The entertainment, this is just a record for you to keep track of any of your entertainment expenses, even though you entered them on the daily ones. Again, once you enter them on the daily ones, it's good to come back and enter them here, only as a record, just in case you're asked about it. Income worksheet. Now, here, you'll notice that the Central Casting Grant Wilfrey was brought over, but you also want to break down the federal tax, state tax, and local tax. Hypothetically, it was $25 for federal, $20 for state, no legal, and state. And this will help you fill out your tax forms. If you had non-performer W-2 wages, this is from your other job. We'll enter all that stuff in here. If you had unemployment, you'll enter the withholding in here, because up here what you'll do is you'll enter unemployment income here, but put the federal withholding there, as well as investments. 1099 information is already brought over, as well as a non-performer, which you will sit there and also enter on the year summary. And here you'll notice this is just enter only the active jobs. You'll enter the non-performer 1099 income here as well. Before we go into the schedule expenses, we're going to jump back to the vehicle worksheet. On the vehicle worksheet, at the end of the year, you'll enter your miles. Say it was 120,000. And what I'll do is it actually calculates, if you notice here, it shows the mileage that I traveled and the amount that's going to be paid for that, and the 1099 miles right here as well for that vehicle. And of course you choose the first year of business and every year of the lease. Now once you enter those numbers, once those numbers are done, on the schedule of expenses, you'll see that everything's broken down that you've entered over the year. You'll see here advertising was $444, that was attributed to W-2 work, and 1099 was $157 because it took the total of the promotional work and resumes, pictures, headshots, etc., and it broke it down based on the percentage of how much was W-2 work and how much was 1099 work. And these are all the breakdowns of the percentages for each particular category. Okay, so, and you'll see here that the union dues are entered there because it is a W-2 job. We entered there. Down on the bottom here, you have equipment expenses over $500. You put this here because on your schedule sheet you'll have to do a depreciation for any purchases. And then the final last page is the 2106. On the 2106 form, this helps you out filling out the vehicle expenses. And this is information that's brought directly from all the other input. And that pretty much has it. The only other video I'm going to show you is a sample of the taxes that I've done for the end of my year.